All right, Luke 23:34 says this. Then said Jesus, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. We use this scripture for what we have titled the 7 last sayings. But this morning, I want to use it as a springboard for your future. With this simple subject, you have been forgiven. Tell your neighbor, you have been forgiven. You have been forgiven. You have been forgiven. Now let me take you back to a moment I will never forget. It's a lesson that was learned not in the classroom, but in my father's living room. As a child, I had gotten into trouble in school. And there's DEFCON 5, and it moves up to DEFCON 1. When they called my mother, that was DEFCON 5. Because I could pretty much deal with DEFCON 5. But this teacher in particular said, Reginald, get up, going to the office. And some of you, I'm Generation X, so we grew up where you went to the office, you dial in the number. You know, there was no cell phones. So she said, Reginald, and she looked at me and we say, we're calling your father. I said, how dare you go right to DEFCON 1? She went right to DEFCON 1. And my father very rarely got calls at work. He would leave. Now, my father was Bayesian, Barbadian man. And my father would leave out the house with this one thing. Don't let me get no calls. He'd start the morning off with, go to school, come home, no trouble. And as I was walking, I said to I started praying. I didn't understand. I knew prayer then. I said, Lord, this is it. And they dialed and they called my father. They told my father what happened. And then they handed me the phone. Now, it wasn't bad enough that they explained it. But they said, your father wants to talk to you. And then he went on to just say, what happened? I knew I was at fault. I knew it was I knew all the trouble that happened. So I explained to him what happened. And my father said these simple words, I'll deal with it. I know I wasn't by myself. I knew I wasn't by myself this Sunday morning. I'll deal with it when I get home. And I was still on the phone saying, but click. Now you talk about crucifixion and resurrection. As I walked back, I knew this is it. And as I sat back, and you know you always have your little circle of friends. Now my circle of friends started tapping me on the shoulder. See, y'all all know. They start tapping me on the shoulder, and we started to say our goodbyes. I'm serious, y'all. I started saying, because I knew this is it. My father always promised me that I brought you in. I was always promised, and I believed that man when he said he would kill me. Because my father said, I am not afraid to go to jail. And I believed him. So I left school saying my goodbyes. One of my friends had the audacity to say, Reg, if you're not here tomorrow, can I have your seat? Come on, let's stay in the word, y'all. Let's stay in the word. I'm going somewhere with this. And I had my older brother, and we walked home in silence. Got on the bus in silence, walked home in silence, got there. Normally we have it. I didn't want a snack. I went on a fast. Shegana. I went on the fast. And the word of God says where 2 or 3 gather together and touch it. I said, Ron, we got to pray, man. We got to pray. We got to pray. My brother's like, okay, we going to pray. What we praying for? That Dad don't kill me. He said, you know you got beat for lesser. I said, yeah. He said, this one's pretty bad. And then we all understand, you know, when we all had the ears where you could hear the key turning the lock. Come on, y'all. I know y'all are with me. So I was in my room. I wouldn't leave my room. And my father would do this thing when he came home. He'd never go through the house. He'd go through the living room. You'd hear the TV click on. So I was like, okay, Dad's home. And my mother was normally the buffer, but there were some times when she could not be the buffer. So I heard her start to explain. And I heard her when she said, Kenny. I said, okay, she's using the demon voice. He said, that boy got to learn. So I said, okay, Jesus. I said, this is it. This is it. So I heard him plop down because, you know, we had the living room furniture with the plastic covers on. I know I'm not by myself. I knew I wasn't by myself. So you could hear the plastic crinkling when he sat down. And normally I was the remote control because, you know, when they needed to change the channel, they wouldn't get up and change the channel. My father would call me out of my room, Reggie. I'd get in the room and he said, can you put that on channel 7 for me? So we became the automatic remotes. I know some of y'all are living this back with me. Young people, just follow me. I know y'all don't understand this, but yes, the channels actually had to turn by yourself. He didn't call me to turn the channels. He turned it himself. So I said, I'm really in trouble now. Then he said, Reggie. My brother looked, I looked, I was crying. Actually, my brother was crying with me. I went in the living room. My father said, I need you to explain to me what happened. And I just had to tell him, you know what, Dad, I had all day to think about it. I was wrong. It was my fault. I did it, and I don't even have any excuse. I don't even know. You know, I'm a kid. I do kid things. Oh, wow. And I did it, and I know. And next to him was the trusty Betsy. Yes, it had a name. Betsy was sitting right next to him. You'll know because I don't want to get nobody in trouble, so we named the punishment tool. So Betsy was sitting next to him. He looked at it, he looked at me. He looked at it, he looked at me. He looked at it, and I was waiting. He looked at me, and he said, go back to your room. He says, I'm disappointed, but I know this won't happen again. Go back to your room. And in that moment, I learned what grace looked like. Because, see, grace said I did it wrong. See, now I deserve to be punished because I admitted that I did it. I know I did it. I know you told me not to do it. I did it anyway, so I deserve punishment. But in that moment, he sought not to give me punishment. He sought to give me grace. Somebody say you've been forgiven. At the Last Supper, Jesus sat with his disciples, fully aware that Judas would betray him. Yet Jesus still invited him to the table, broke bread with him, and even washed his feet. This act of mercy towards his betrayer revealed a love that transcends logic. The one who would betray him for silver, the one who would identify him with a kiss. Judas took the thing that is one of the most compassionate things and betrayed Christ with him. The one who handed him over to be crucified. Jesus stooped down in humility, touched his dirty feet, and served him. Forgiveness is not about worthiness. It's about willingness. Let me say that again. Y'all missed that. Forgiveness isn't about worthiness. It is about willingness. Jesus teaches us something that modern society has forgotten. Forgiveness is not given because someone deserves it. It is given because love demands it. I don't deserve forgiveness, but love demands that you forgive me. You don't forgive because someone is worthy. You forgive because you are called to forgive. Okay, let me pause there for a second. Let me pause there. Because there's something about forgiveness that we think someone deserves it. Well, I'm not going to forgive you today. Well, wait a second. Imagine if Jesus decided, you know what, today, you know what you did last night? I'm going to let it ride. I'm not going to forgive you for that. Imagine if one day Jesus said, you know what, you won't forgive them? I'm not going to forgive you. Let that sink in for a second. Let that sink in for a second. Forgiveness, the cross was forgiveness in actions. I'm just about done. Now let's fast forward to Calvary. Jesus had been mocked, spit on, stripped, beaten. If you can imagine, Jesus was accused and was railroaded. There was no cam dash video. There was no video turned on. There was no cell phones. There was no access. There was nothing that said that he did what they accused him of. And yet they found him guilty. Pause for a second. And not only guilty, but guilty enough to be put to death. They beat him till he wasn't recognized. He's nailed to a wooden cross between two criminals. Now, mind you, they escalated Jesus because normally when you were crucified with ropes. They escalated it and took nails and nailed him to it. He's nailed between two criminals. And what does he say? Now, at this point, we would probably all be pleading our case. I didn't do it. Wasn't me. All I did was do good for people. These two people next to me actually did something wrong. But what does Jesus say? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Not after they apologize, because we will forgive somebody, but only when, you got to tell me you sorry. There is nowhere in the world I'm going to forgive you unless you say, and if you don't say I'm sorry, no one admitted that they were wrong. But in the middle of being offended, in the middle of being crucified, in the middle of being spit on, in the middle of being beaten, Jesus says, forgive them. Forgiveness is the purest form. And in Jesus' darkest hours, he found forgiveness. Now, this is my last point, and Elder King is done. Forgiveness produces freedom. Forgiveness produces freedom. Many of us today are carrying chains not placed on us by others, but one that we refuse to let go of. Let me pause there for a second. Many of us are carrying chains not put on us by other people, but chains that we refuse to let go of. We keep replaying our betrayals. We keep rehearsing our offenses. We keep saying, I would be further along if they didn't do this to me. Nobody likes me. They're all against me. I can't forget when she hurt me last. I can't forget when he hurt me last. It still hurts now. It's been 10 years, but I haven't gotten over it. Jesus is saying, let it go. We nurse wounds that God already has offered to heal. We are nursing things that God says, if you stop picking at the scab, I'll heal it. If you stop talking about how they hurt you 6 years ago, I'll heal it. Oh, Elder King, you're supposed to be talking about the resurrection. Resurrection won't happen until you're able to say, I'm letting this go, and tell somebody, step into your future. Let me make this one statement, and I want, if you're writing something down, write this down. Unforgiveness is a prison you lock from the inside. All right, let me pause here. I'm going to say that again. Unforgiveness is a prison that you lock from the inside. Pastor, I don't think they got it. Let me rewind and say that again. Unforgiveness is a prison that you lock from the inside. What does that mean? When you decide I'm not going to forgive you, you lock yourself into a tomb. Forgiveness is the key that unlocks the door for both you and the one who hurt you. And I know we have this thing, I'll forgive you, but I won't forget it. I'm gonna pause there. I'll forgive you, but I'm not gonna forget it. Immunization. When we get immunized, what does that do? When you get immunized, it is actually putting that thing in your system. Now, it's not putting that thing in your system to hurt you. It's putting the thing in your system, so what? So your system can recognize it and know how to fight against it. I'm going somewhere. I don't need to remember what they did to me, because the minute something like that happens again, my spiritual immunization system kicks in and says, oop, I remember when that happened. And I remember how we got over that. So when my spiritual immunization system hits, it says, we've been through this in 19. We're not going to deal with this for 6 years ago. We're going to let this flush through our system. Tell somebody you've been forgiven. Forgiveness is how we say, what you did won't define who I become. Okay, maybe I need to talk to you online, because they're not getting it. Maybe I need to talk to you online. It's how we say, what you did won't define who I become. I want you to understand, I'm not stuck because you think I'm stuck. Well, I know what I did. And now, remember Seeley? Before you do right by me. No, I'm going to tell you this, baby. Curse me all you want to and watch God bless me. I dare you, curse me all you want to, but you can curse me all you want to. I remember a prophet who said, they paid him money. I need you to curse God's people. And every time he went to curse them, he'd start blessing them. Every time they said, but wait a second, maybe we didn't pay you enough. He said, well, wait. All right, I cursed them from the left. Maybe and I ended up blessing them. He said, okay, well, let me try the right side. Let me try cursing them from this side. Let me get myself together. All right. You're cursed. They're cursed. You're cursed. They're cursed. You're cursed. We're cursed. They're cursed. And then when he stepped to say, the blessings of the Lord is upon you. He said, well, wait a minute. The person got even more upset. I paid you to curse them. He said, well, maybe if I stand in the middle. I could imagine him rehearsing it all night. Okay, this person is going to be cursed. I am the cursor, they are the cursee. We're going to curse them and we're going to go home. He stood in the middle, looked at the people, and when he opened up his mouth to say you're cursed, he says, the blessings of the Lord is upon you. And then the man said, well, why can't you curse them? He said simply, I can't curse what God has blessed. That's it. That's where we are. That's where we are. That's where we are. Every time somebody steps up to curse you, I don't care what they do. Put me in the cubicle behind everybody else. Move my office. Don't give me the scholarship. Don't give me the loan. But when I get back, they're going to call me back and say, you know what, we re-examined the application and realized that we made a mistake. Tell somebody you can't curse what God has blessed. Forgiveness breaks me out of that cycle. I have been in a cycle where things constantly go wrong. You lost this, you lost that. Have you remember when Mama always said, you just need why don't you just try praying? I ain't gonna pray. What praying gonna do? How praying gonna help me? Praying not gonna help me get a job. Oops. Praying not gonna help me get the car. Praying is not gonna get my children. Try praying. It's something about unburdening yourself from sin. Oh God, help me in this. Once you unburden yourself from sin, because sin brings along shame, and afterwards you start thinking, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve anything good. I only deserve to sit in the back of the cubicle, get my paycheck, and go home. I stopped living that life a long time ago. I start living to the point where it says that your gifts will make room for you. Every time I get into a room, I'm waiting for my gift to make room for me. Some of y'all don't get that. Some of y'all don't get that. Because you're used to just being in the back row. I'm happy just being here. I'm happy. No, baby. Whenever I get into a room, I'm waiting for my gift to make room. I don't care if somebody's been there for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I don't care. But when I step into the room, the gift starts moving things aside. And God doesn't have to demote anybody to promote you. All right, let me pause there. I became chair of my business department not because he had to fire somebody. God had the audacity, the pure audacity, to put me next to my boss in a small office. Listen to how he does his job. Ooh, I had a David moment. When they took David and David became the armor bearer for Saul, David didn't realize that was his training. I was in a small office right next to my boss's office, and he'd often call me in, Dr. King, come in here. He said, this is how I do this. Dr. King. And I'd act like I didn't hear. I know you heard that conversation because the walls are thin. So I act like I didn't hear something. But let me tell you how God will promote you. So I didn't realize I wasn't even looking to become chair of the department. I just wanted to become a full-time professor, teach my classes, and go. The Lord had it that my boss wasn't even looking for a position. He said, and every now and then he switched up. He said, Reggie, I got a LinkedIn that was a position for a vice president that I didn't apply for, but they told me I need to apply for it. I said, Dr. G, apply for it. He applied for it. He got the job. So he becomes the vice president stepping out. I am a new professor. And he says, before he stepped out, they said, well, do you have anybody you could recommend for this position? I'm gonna pause there for a second. He said, well, Dr. King owned some businesses before and he understands. He's like, I'm gonna recommend Dr. King. Y'all gotta catch this. Y'all gotta catch this. Because when God has a promotion for you, he didn't have to fire him. God says, I'm gonna promote him out to promote you in. If y'all could catch that, we can, if y'all could catch that, we could be done. God says, I'm gonna promote him out so I can promote you in. I'll teach you some things while he's sitting there. But while he's sitting there, God says, I'm gonna have somebody else call him. When God has something for you, what's our last young person there? God had a plan, and God is a master chess player. While you're on move 2, God is already on move 12. God says, if you can just step into my forgiveness, I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and never to harm you. God says this. You're standing here, but God says, I forgave you. Take my forgiveness and make your next move. Take my forgiveness. Make your next move. Take my forgiveness. And what happens is we get stuck on this. I did it last week. I asked God to forgive me before. I just keep making the same mistake over and over and over and over. Paul said it this way. Paul said, now the Apostle Paul, who wrote most of the New Testament, said it this way. The thing that I would not do is the thing that I keep doing. And the thing that I should do, I don't do. Oh, wretched man that I am. But thanks be to God who giveth us the victory. Tell somebody, I've been forgiven. 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 Forgiveness bridges pain and peace. I've been forgiven. Forgiveness breaks emotional cycles. I've been forgiven. Freedom found in Jesus. This is my last thing. Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, reminds us of one thing. Sin is no match for grace. See, we have measures of sin. You know, I only lied a bit. But yo, girl here, she smoke weed every day. I only gave myself to people I love. She give herself to everybody. We have measures of sin. But God says sin is sin. I don't care whether you lied, killed, I don't care what you did. Sin is sin. There's only one hell. All right, let me pause there. And let me just make this one disclaimer. God does not want you to go to hell. Let me make another disclaimer. Once you get saved, it does not mean that life ends. I'm saved. And they hand you a book of notes. I remember, Bishop, I know you remember Pentecostal church. Once you got saved, they hand you the book of no's. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. I'm trying to end, but I know y'all remember. No, I'm like, oh, well, I like to, well, I want to take my girlfriend. Nope, no girlfriend. Girlfriend, nope. I would like to go to the movies. Movies, nope, no movies. I want to join the basketball team, page 7. Nope, no basketball team. No dating. No. You want to play basketball on a Sunday? Hell, you going to hell. Hell says basketball on Sunday. We got a book of no's. But once you get saved, salvation is freedom. Salvation says, I can go the same place you go and still be holy. All right, let me. I'm sorry. I'm going to close this book. But the funny thing is, every time we found Jesus, if you check the book, every house party, okay, let me pause there. Let me talk to this side because maybe you all understand me. Every house party. Okay, no, y'all don't get it. Y'all too saved. Let me come right here, sis. Sis, I know you understand me. Every house party, Jesus was right in the middle of it. Y'all might. Oh, I know I'm offending some of y'all saved folk. But every time they would call a house party, they said, well, did you all invite Jesus? Yeah, we invited Jesus. And they found Jesus sitting right in the middle. So Jesus was in the midst of the house party, but the house party wasn't in Jesus. Y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. While they was partying here and drinking, Jesus was over here healing. While they were doing their things here, and the Pharisees even showed up to the house parties because they wanted to see what he was going to do. And while they was here, Jesus was here. When they broke the bottle of oil and put it on Jesus' feet, where was Jesus? At a house party. And I want y'all to get this, because I'm not saying this to be negative, but some of y'all have moved yourself out of going everywhere. Our job is to save the lost. Where is the lost? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Let me close this book because somebody's getting offended. Honey, let me give you the keys to the car so we can run out the back way. You want souls to get saved, but you don't want to go to the place where the souls that need to get saved are. I'm too sad. I'm too sad. I don't go to no. I don't go. God delivered me from the bar. No, he did not. God saved you so you can go back in there and take out the ones that need to come out. Oh, y'all, I know. Y'all too saved for that. There's no place in this Bible. It said, come out from among them and be separated. It wasn't talking physically, baby. You could not go to the house party and still have the house party in you. Forgiveness means that I have the right to go back. Elder, come here. Elder Dejan, come quick. And I'm gonna close my book, Bishop. It means simply this. It means that we hung out. We went to the same place, hopped the same clubs, did the same things. Y'all know what I mean. Y'all ain't been saved forever. I know you act like it, but you ain't been saved forever. We did not forget how to sin. If you think you forgot, let somebody swoop around your car real quick or cut you off. You'll find something bubbling up in your spirit that you say, oh, where? And you know what you would say? Where did that come from? I thought that was done. You didn't forget how to sin. So we hung out, we did our dirt, we did whatever, yeah. You see that honey over there? But when the Lord delivers me out of the place, he just doesn't deliver me and free me to have freedom to watch my friends still in prison. What he freed me to do was give me the authority and the power to go back into the same place that had both of us bound and said, bro, there's a new way. There's a different way. There's promotion. Oh, there's lifting. You don't have to live like this. And when I bring him out, his next assignment is to do what? So before we know it, we keep going back into the same club with a different agenda. Tell somebody I'm showing up Monday with a different agenda. All right, stand to your feet. I'm done. Thank you, Allah. I'm done. The tomb is empty. The grave couldn't hold him. Because of Jesus, you have been forgiven. Because of Jesus, you can forgive others. Because of Jesus, I love this last one, your past has no authority over your future. This is the call. receive forgiveness, let go of guilt, accept grace, extend forgiveness, set others and yourself free, even without an apologizing. Without an apology, you can experience healing. This Resurrection Sunday morning, the word of the Lord is, I have been forgiven. And because I am forgiven, I now am about to walk in an authority that I never thought I could walk in.